Welcome to RCAM. So today we are going to be talking about recent developments in the Dr. Disrespect controversy. And allegedly, the doc knew that he was messaging minors. Oh man, not looking good for him. We will also discuss a new anti-woke animated cartoon that's being released on X that just looks god awful. So we'll talk about that and a fat convention because now fat people have their own conventions. Yeah, so that's a thing. All right. So before we get into this, I do want to just encourage you guys that if you follow me, I highly recommend watching this on Rumble. Second here. Download the Rumble app and follow me there. It's great. It's the place too today where they likely won't be subject to the bans that are going to be happening with YouTube regarding the presidential debates. So download the app. Just do it. There's a link in the description. And while you're there, you might as well follow my channel so that you stay notified on what I'm doing. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, share, do all those things. That helps me grow. And I definitely appreciate it. All right, so just a quick recap, all right? So obviously, this is the second stream that I've done covering this controversy with Dr. Disrespect. Initially, I waited because I wanted to see if more information was going to come in, and it did. And he ultimately ended up releasing a statement, basically admitting that he was messaging a minor. And for a lot of people, that case closed. All right, he admitted to it. Now there were still some questions that people had. What were the messages that he was sending? Because he said that basically they leaned in the direction of being inappropriate. So I had some questions about that. What did he mean by that? We also, some people are like, well, did he know? Did he know that this was a minor at the time that that he was talking to them? Because we understand that, hey, that could be a thing that could happen, but it was all unclear, and he didn't bring that clarification when he originally drafted his tweet. And many took that to be an indictment against him, and I would actually tend to agree, because if he knew that she wasn't a minor, then he had the opportunity to say as much. He could have just said in that tweet, I was not aware. And I think a lot of people would have been a lot more forgiving if that was the case, but he didn't say that. So people are going to draw their own conclusions, and they did. And it seems like now their concerns were actually confirmed, at least if you trust the Rolling Stones. And I'll be honest with you guys, I really do not trust them as a publication. But I'm just going to report to you what they have shared, all right? So this is from Dexerto. Dr. Disrespect knew the victim he was messaging was underage and indicated to them that it was no problem. A former Twitch employee confirmed. Now, I do have this article pulled up, and not to say that I don't doubt that this is true, but I do think that having anonymous sources does not help your credibility. So it'd be much more impactful if this was a legitimate source that could be identified, and that they could actually bring receipts, because this still, as we'll read, is still, their word, and we have to trust their word for it, and we don't have any actual receipts. All right. So Dr. Disrespect knowingly sent explicit messages to a minor, former Twitch employee says. So they kind of recap everything that we've talked about. But I do just want to read this part, and then we'll kind of go down and scroll to the actual, what they're actually saying. So in June 2020, there was a Me Too reckoning within the gaming community. Dozens in the industry leveling more than 70 allegations of sexual misconduct and assault against high-profile streamers. So this is I think an even bigger headline than the story with Dr. Disrespect. 70 allegations of sexual misconduct and assault against high-profile streamers. Who are these streamers? Who are they? Because it's not one streamer. It's not just the doc. It seems to indicate that there are more streamers who are implicated in this. So that is that's unnerving. That raises some red flags for me, because it shows that there's more people involved than just the doc. So, and this too, at least gives me now a clearer picture of why Twitch didn't disclose this, why Twitch buried this and didn't want to talk about it and didn't bring it to the light, because it wasn't just the doc. It was there's other people involved. And now my question is, who else was involved? Because we know Twitch has problems with sexual misconduct. Actually, I think I am gonna share this real quick. Hold on a second. I don't want to expose their message, but I want to get to their tweet. So give me a second. Somebody created an account today, just to demonstrate how easy it is to come across inappropriate content on Twitch. So here we go. All right, I got this pulled up. I just want to show you this real quick. All right. This is from my friend Volts. He said, so I decided to make an account today with age being 14. I wanted to see what type of verification one has to go through to see sexual themes. Well, not only is there no verification, but even with the filters on telling them not to show sexual themes, they still do. Not only that, but I can easily private message anyone as they have their whispers turned on. As you can see, there is 0 age restriction and nothing when I click on a stream asking if I'm 18 plus because of sexual themes. So kudos to Volt. So he made this account. He shows that he could do the Twitch whisper system, and has this video. And I'm not really going to play a lot of this because I don't want to expose you guys to this e-thought. But there it is, and you can see it looks like more and more suggestive, at the very least, suggestive content. So yeah, Twitch got problems, man. They have problems, and it extends well beyond Dr. Disrespect. And I think they got to do something about it. So and they do form a task force immediately after this, after they uncover these allegations. But let's read a little bit more. So esports broadcasters and game developers. So it's not just streamers, it's esports broadcasters and game developers. Jesus. So they are riddled with problems. Twitch responded to the outcry on June 21st, 2020, promising to take so too, if you're mathing, this is Doc had his incident in, I think, 2017. Yeah, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So this is several years later, promising to take strong and immediate action on credible allegations against their creators. We take accusations of sexual harassment and misconduct extremely seriously, the company said in a statement. We are actively looking into accounts concerning streamers affiliated with Twitch and will work with law enforcement where applicable. So now this kind of goes over Dr. Disrespect's situation, where he ultimately settles with Twitch due to a damage to his reputation, which now we see is self-inflicted. You did this, you brought this on yourself, man. But they go over the tweets that we talked about in a previous stream. They talk about his issue with Midnight Society and bombed. They reached out to Dr. Disrespect and he did not reply or give a comment. So evidently he knows this story is coming out. He took to Twitter instead to defend himself. So here's his tweet. We covered this. Okay, here we go. All right, a former Twitch trust and safety employee who worked on the platform at the time Dr. Disrespect was banned had direct knowledge of the matter, confirmed to the Rolling Stone that Bame continued to send sexually graphic messages to a minor he knew to be underage. He knew it. If we trust this ex-Twitch employee. So this former employee who requested anonymity, I'm butchering that word, to avoid jeopardizing their career, also said that the crucial elements of Dr. Disrespect's latest defensive tweet are inaccurate. So one thing that I speaking of respect, that I don't respect are Anons reporting this, or not reporting this now, and not just coming forward. Like if Twitch and Dr. Disrespect are complicit in what you say they are, then have the courage to come forward. Maybe it will cost you your career, but I think people will rally behind you. So I do think this hurts credibility. I don't like strictly relying on anonymous sources. And I don't like that these people too, that had this knowledge waited so long to act on it. Why? That's one of those things, like if you have knowledge of sexual misconduct happening at your company, don't wait. Like if you actually care about these people, then you would have acted sooner. So they go on to write, I recall that Dr. Disrespect was made aware by the individual that they were underage during the conversation, after which he indicated that this was no problem and continued on. And honestly, if this is true, that's disgusting. Honestly, it's indefensible. And he doesn't deserve to recover from this. He deserves to lose everything. And we're seeing that happen. He got edited out of a 2K game. And I will also, I think, read that this is why, or maybe in a separate post, this is why YouTube didn't actually give him partner. Now, I was under the impression that they did partner with him, but they didn't. They just, I guess he was just uploading himself. But they were aware of something nefarious happening here. So it continues, there was no confusion. Messages sent after this was acknowledged and were no less graphic and in sexually explicit nature than before. And I think, hold on, what the heck is happening? I think more than the categorization of leaning too much in the direction of being inappropriate might indicate. So they're saying that they were sexually explicit, which he explicitly denies. Now, this is where I'm legitimately confused, all right? I'm not trying to defend this guy. It just doesn't make sense in my brain, all right? So if they were sexually explicit, all right, he is sending sexually explicit messages to a minor. That sounds like a crime, all right? So if it was investigated and deduced it wasn't a crime, then it doesn't make sense to me that they would be sexually explicit. So that I'm just not completely confident about. I don't know, and something's not adding up. All right, so that's where this confusion is coming in from, because you would think that if he's doing this again, that they would have some legal standing to do something about it, but they did nothing. and they settled and they paid Doc. So I don't know. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. And if anybody has any theories or ideas behind it, I'd love to hear from you. I really would, because I'm trying to rack my brain around this, and it just doesn't make any sense. And then if this is the truth, then him coming out that statement doesn't really make any sense, because he knows ultimately they would release this. Now, I do think in light of this, his best path forward is to release the chat logs. At this point, if he really wants to clear his name or restore his reputation, maybe show that the messages weren't as bad as people are making them out to be, well, then he has to release the chat log. Because we're just going to assume that it is as bad as these people are saying. But they have also not released any of the chat logs. They don't have it. They don't have any receipts. That's the one thing that's missing from all of this. Is if you're going to make these types of accusations, you need to have the receipts. Like, hearsay is not enough. Anonymous accounts, that's not enough. You need the receipts. We need to know what he said, or at the very least, even saying, from my memory, here's a reconstruction of what I saw. Will JF says something's missing. Yeah, I agree. There is something missing. That this isn't, wrapped in a gold bow. There's still a lot of, I still have some questions. So the ex-Twitch employee has also provided Rolling Stone a more detailed account of the internal conversation at Twitch following the report of Bim's messages and his subsequent ban. They say the details of the case are coming out because of Connor's explicit tweets. So Cody definitely got the ball rolling. Me and many former colleagues are comfortable speaking up now because of it. Our priority is always to safety of the alleged victim and to keep their identity secret. No, it's not, because you would have spoken up a long time ago, and so did this Cody guy. He was teasing it, trying to promote his concerts. He cared more about getting ticket sales than he did coming forward with the truth. And now he finally did. I don't know what his motives are now, but he finally did. But it took him long enough. Why not sooner? That's a question that I have. And this is the same frustration that I had with all the women coming forward about Harvey Weinstein during the Me Too movement. So this monster exists, and he's doing these awful things, and you stood by, you said nothing and did nothing, and continue to let him abuse people? That doesn't fly with me. That sounds like cowardice. It sounds like a lot of people trying to save their own careers, or people now trying to latch on to some. I don't know if the Rolling how much they pay for this type of content. This person remained anonymous, or maybe not them, but trying to latch on to some clout. Or I don't know why they're coming forward now, though. It doesn't make sense to me. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. All right, so yeah, I don't like that they waited. So I'm going to keep reading. As some of its streamers faced a flood of sexual misconduct allegations in June, Twitch created an incident response team codenamed Gold Sparrow, so this is in 2020, to develop a process to investigate and take action on reports as one unit, the former employee says. We want to be able to process mounting investigations quicker and with more resources while providing as much support for the victims as possible, the former employee says. Now, I hope that this Golden Sparrow is, looking into the pipeline of minors clicking on these hot tub streams and these explicit streams and being redirected to OnlyFans, because that seems pretty predatory to man. Seems equally as bad, if not worse, than what's being alleged for Dr. Disrespect. So they have to be consistent. And this, I'm not saying any of this to take away from anything that Dr. Disrespect has done. Again, disgusting. Talking to a minor, if he's sending sexually explicit images to a minor, not even just for the fact it's a minor, but the betrayal to his marital vows disgusts me. It's disgusting that you would dishonor your wife and your kids. And not only that, it is a betrayal to his fans. I mean, this guy has developed quite the fan base. And I'm not going to claim to be a fan. I've watched some streams and followed him loosely, but I'm not somebody that has really watched any streamer or Twitch streamers' streams. I haven't really done that, but it is, he had a responsibility, and unfortunately, he used it to do something awful. And at the same time, though, we have other issues happening on Twitch that do need to be resolved. When the initial report of BAM's alleged inappropriate messages came through in 2020, okay, so that's when the messages came through. An investigation began. Why am I getting 2017 from? If I was incorrect about that, I apologize. After viewing the contents of the Whisper conversation, it quickly became clear that the egregiousness of conduct and what actions Twitch must take, the former employee says. The decision to permanently terminate him was quick due to the severity of the behavior, which this does make it seem like it was not, it was sexually explicit. Twitch can't and won't make the alleged messages public, the ex-employee said, as this not only endangers the victim and the investigations by law enforcement. So this is confusing too, because I thought, from my previous understanding, I thought he was cleared of any wrongdoing, that they did investigate it and they found nothing. So in early 2021, the Twitch and Trust and Safety team created the OSIT, an investigation team for reports of off-site misconduct by creators. At the time, the company described the initiative as a direct response to the allegations of sexual misconduct that surfaced across the gaming industry over the summer. In assessing those allegations, the company said it had realized that our current policy regarding off-service misconduct was not clear enough. Among the alleged off-site behaviors it pledged to investigate were sexual exploitation of children, including child grooming. Following BAM from Twitch and the time away from the spotlight, announced a return to streaming on YouTube in August of 2020. But while he was free to use that platform and Facebook Gaming, neither offered him exclusive partnership. Yeah, and this seems like they caught wind of the allegations against him, and that's why he wasn't able to do it. His lack of a streaming contract was notable for celebrity in the industry at the time, when other streamers like Valkyrie, Ludwig, and Tin the Tatman were signing seven-figure multi-year deals. YouTube's former global head of gaming partnership at Google, Ryan Wyatt, confirmed to the Rolling Stone that he was not offered a contract due to the chatter about the circumstances of his Twitch ban. He says that a Twitch employee and journalist investigating the incident told YouTube employees that involved inappropriate messages to a minor. So YouTube knew too, and they didn't do anything. Sounds like a lot of people knew. And it sounds like YouTube had no problem monetizing Dr. Disrespect. So I do anticipate probably going to get banned from YouTube. That's probably going to happen. We'll see. Because I have high doubts that Google wants to be tied to this. So yeah, that's likely going to happen. The unfortunate part of all of it was there were so many rumors circulating in the industry. One, that a minor was involved, he says, but no one produced firsthand knowledge or evidence. And because of those rumors, there was no reason to entertain any deal with Dr. Disrespect, and no evidence produced means you can't act on a terms of service violation. Okay. The whole situation got even more confusing when Twitch settled and effectively said no wrongdoing, which made everyone in the industry dismiss the rumors. But even still, there was never a reason to do a deal with him after that ban. So it sounds like they're just as confused as we are. That something's going to have to come out to clear that up, because it's not making sense. A spokesperson for CAA, BAM's talent agency, since signing in 2019, tells Rolling Stone he is no longer a client, so he doesn't have a talent agency. Will JF says, I was a fan, don't know how I feel. I'm British, so I don't look at it the same. Creepy, but not a nunce if she's 17. Still wait for him to say that I didn't know until then. He knows in my eyes. Yeah, I think that's a safe, and I get that. And this too, I think, is a conversation that I think legally needs to be revisited, because there are laws that do allow 17-year-olds to consent. So it varies state to state. So maybe that's why there was no legal repercussions. So it is one of those things when it comes, I'm talking about the law, so I don't want anyone to think like, oh, Ryan thinks it's okay to mess around with it. I don't. All right. But I am saying that there are states that legally have laws that allow it. So that does need to be cleared up. Like, I actually think on a federal level, like, this is the age across the board. So there's no confusion, because if one state, it's okay, and another state, it's not okay, it is confusing. All right. Even today, I'm humbled. Okay, so now he's lost a lot of deals. So the San Francisco 49ers, from whom he had sometimes played a promotional role, announced that it was cutting ties with him, while the video game franchise NBA 2K said that it would remove his character from the series. So yeah, companies are taking action to distance themselves from him, because this is just bad. Even today, I'm humbled by the experiences. Former Twitch employee who was at the company when it mobilized to address the reports of misconduct by Beam and others. This is so important, man. Who are the others? And why wasn't Rolling Stone asking? Because this is a bombshell story. Who are the others? Who else is involved? How many people were getting the axe? How many people actually had legal action taken against them? I want to know this. The bravery of the victim speaking out and the commitment by my colleagues to doing the right thing now. Give yourself a pat on the back for coming out years later. Cowardly. I hope, yeah, and now too that somebody else has come up, and I suspect that initial guy was 100% doing it for clout, 100%. Even though it's true, I don't think he was acting on bravery. I think he was acting to monetize, get some monetization. So I hope that we're all on a better path now for it. I think that's it. So yeah, that's the full scoop on this story. I wanted to get into the other content. I'm just not going to have the time, guys, because I got to get my kid to bed, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to live stream the debates. Honestly, I'm not optimistic about the debates. I just think CNN is constantly going to cut Trump's mic. So we'll see, though. But I'm going to live stream the debates. So if take a break, come back, watch my stream, and we'll talk about that kind of as it goes. But as far as this story, I think that we need a couple more pieces to kind of understand the full scope of what happened. We need Twitch to explain their side, all right, and explain why no legal action could have been taken, because that's confusing. And we also need these chat logs released, or redact the names. If you're worried about the victims, I get that. Redact the names. You can easily do that. So that seems like an excuse to me. So unfortunately, as of right now, we can only assume that this Rolling Stones author is telling the truth, and the anonymous Twitch employee is telling the truth, because we're not given any more to go on. And it's unfortunate too, because a lot of people looked up to Dr.Disrespect, but you engage in adulterous and creepy behavior, and it's going to come back to haunt you. Nothing that is hidden will stay hidden. Your sin will find you. Well, JF said, but I do understand how people feel feel because how I'd react if any say similar situation, but 15. Yeah. I mean, and that 15-year-olds, that's prepubescent. That actually definitionally is pedophilia. I actually did a video called "Rise of Pedophilia" where I talked about, I believe, an incident that happened in the UK, and this guy started grooming this kid. I mean, probably when she was like 12 or 13, very young. He ends up marrying her when she's 16. And just the nature of that is creepy. Maybe it was legal for him to do something, but the optics, still, you're a predator. I mean, you're grooming a child, and there's just no ways to mince words about it. So anyway, that's going to do it for me today, guys. I'll be back here at 9 o'clock. I hope you guys have a blessed night. I hope to see you in the next stream. If not, I will be back tomorrow, and we'll do the anti-woke cartoon tomorrow. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Deuces.